So Belinda, I was wondering if you could talk a little bit about your casting process.
Yeah, so I kind of came up with this method of casting many years ago when I was working at the Design Art College of New Zealand in Christchurch. I taught fiber art class, so I worked a lot with fabric, and I did fiber-based work in my master's degree when I was there studying. And then a colleague of mine had to be away, and I covered his sculpture class, and they were in the process of doing like plaster casting. And so then I taught that to the students, and it just kind of a light bulb went off, and I thought, I wonder if the drawings that I'm doing on soft materials could transfer onto plaster, into the surface. So I think a lot of people think these are soft. There's absolutely no fabric in these at all. So I take fabric, put it on the wall stretched, and draw, and then I cut it out, draw a little line around, and then I sew it like a pillowcase together with the images on the inside. And then I'm going to show some pictures of process, but in our artist talk, but I clamp it, and then I mix up the hydrocal, which is like a very fine cement, has similar look to plaster but is harder, and then I pour it in as a liquid, and then it sets. It takes like about 25 minutes to get hard, but I usually leave them overnight. And then once they are set, then I tear the fabric off. So you can see stitching lines on the forms, and you can get puckering, like you can see here, that looks like a pillow soft form, and I'm puckering in here, but actually the fabric is completely gone, and the drawing that was on the fabric is now kind of embedded into like the first millimeter of the sculpture. And these ones are slightly different. This is Victoria and Albert, in that instead of using cotton to draw on, I only drew on cotton on one side, and the other side I sewed an actual rabbit hide. So with the hide on the outside and the fur on the inside, and I thought if I poured liquid plaster or liquid hydrocal into that form, and then I tore off the hide, would the fur stay? And it did. So I have these furry, they look soft, but they're actually hard rabbits that are made with actual real rabbit fur. And I ended up deciding to move away from that with the subsequent pieces that I made. I found sourcing the rabbit hide difficult, and I couldn't find it locally. And I didn't want to be importing it from South America. So instead I decided to just go with the drawings and use the opportunity to draw front and back of the animals. So yeah, it took me 2 goes to do this one. I tried it with its arms sticking out, but it wouldn't cast properly, so in the end I drew an arm on. And these are kind of cantilevered out. They're very heavy. I got a lot of repetitive strain from making this work, because they can weigh 20 to 30 pounds each. They're cement, and they're bolted down to this plinth. Yeah, they're very heavy.